Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. Now, as you can tell by the title of today's video, we are going to go a little bit deeper today. There's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a little while, okay? In this topic of insecurities and things that I wish I knew when I was younger and things that I would say to my younger self. I have siblings, so obviously these are things that I've relayed to them before, and things that I might have even not said to them before, and I hope that they watch this video and they take this away and take it as food for thought for them as well. But listen, I see you guys as my sisters, I see you guys as my family. This is a community that we've built here, and I was just looking for the right opportunity or the right moment for me to share this, because it's been on my heart for a little while, and I felt like this was it, especially after an event that I hosted, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. But before I talk about that, I do need to give a massive shout out to Dell, because they are sponsoring today's video. I've worked with them before and they were amazing the last time. I created some content over on my Instagram, which you can still check out now. It's still there. And yeah, I just had a great time working with them, and they've come back again. And today it very much integrates into some of the things that they are promoting at the moment. So the two things that Dell are offering at the moment, which I've spoken about before, but just in case you're not on my Instagram and you missed out on the information, you missed out on the plugs, I'm plugging you right now. Dell are offering two things that are there to support people, especially those that have businesses and that maybe have even been struggling during this time of lockdown. Obviously, we know we came into 2020 and the year just went a bit upside down. Nobody really knew what the hell was happening. We were all a bit lost. And those that run small businesses like me, I know that a lot of us struggled, because it was like all of a sudden, all the plans that we had, the shoots that we wanted to do, the campaigns that we wanted to do, all the things that we wanted to make happen were kind of put in jeopardy. Now, one thing about me is that I say, if I can't do it one way, guess what? I'm going to alternate and do it another way, because that's all we do. We have to adapt, and we have to make sure that we just mold ourselves to ensure that we survive, you know, and that we not just survive even, but thrive even in the environment that we're in right now. So the first platform that you need to check out from Dell in order to support people like myself who have small businesses is their Dell Technologies Advisors. Now listen, we're all on technology, we all use technology in some way, shape or form in our lives, and since lockdown and since all the stuff that's been happening in 2020, technology has become key to ensuring that our businesses continue to thrive. So if you know that you are struggling a little bit with technology, not quite understanding how you can utilize it, how you can merge it into your business, how you can ensure that you're using it to the right capacity or in the right capacity and using it well in order to support your business and even boost your business, then Dell Technologies Advisors are there. They are basically individuals who are trained to help you with all of your technology questions, queries, concerns, worries. They're literally there to support you throughout it all. So no matter what it is that you are struggling with, maybe you just have a question about a program that you should or shouldn't be using, maybe you're struggling to figure out where you should position yourself in a particular tech industry, or in just ways that you can use technology to boost your business, whatever it is, they are there to support you. So make sure you check them out. Then the second platform that they have, and this one, I said it in my IGTV last time as well, it gets me more excited because you guys know I'm very, very big on empowering women. You know that I have the Power Class program where we're working on getting 1,000 women from all over the world to empower them. And ultimately, Dell are doing something absolutely incredible. They have something called the Dell Women's Entrepreneur Network. And this is literally a network where women from all over the world, all different backgrounds, no matter where they are, can come together and have a network where they can support one another, that we can help one another, we can share some of our stresses and strains when it comes to business, and also for you to get support. And massive shout out to Dell for this initiative, because things like this really encourage me and show me that, you know, there are spaces and there are brands out there who are really, really intentional about supporting women, about supporting people from different backgrounds, about supporting people, you know, who have maybe been marginalized or not been given opportunities in that sector or in that area of work. So massive shout out to Dell for what they are doing. Ladies, check it out, okay? I heard a quote the other day that has triggered me and that changed my perspective on everything, and that is, we are the generation with the most resources, but we are not resourceful. Be resourceful, guys. I'm literally handing to you on a plate two platforms, two resources that are free, by the way, Absolutely free. You don't have to pay a penny for them, but that can help you when it comes to your own business, especially if you have a small business. So make sure you check them out. So now I really want to dive straight into today's topic and what I wanted to talk about. This whole thought and the, wanting to create this video actually came a long time ago. I know that I wanted to give you guys a bit of an update because a few years ago I did videos where I was sharing some of my insecurities. I was sharing like my weight loss story. This was, years ago when I first started my YouTube channel. And the response was insane. The amount of women that messaged me, and even some men and some guys that messaged me to share how they had been struggling with their weight, how they had so many insecurities that they were struggling with, that their weight fluctuated up and down and it made them super insecure. And I remember that being something that I talked about a long time ago, and then I just stopped talking about it. And then it got me thinking about growing up and people around me and school and all sorts of things. I don't know why I went into this train of thought, but I just kind of left it. And then I hosted the Black Girls Tech Summit. I'm going to insert some clips from the Black Girls Tech Summit, which was absolutely amazing. It's run by Vanessa, who is the founder of Girls Talk London. And this is the second year in a row, and I was honored to host it last year. And I also got the opportunity to host it this year as well. And it was incredible. We had across the 2 days about 600, 700 odd people that came on from all over the world. As in, there were people writing that were from Abu Dhabi, people writing from, was it Abu Dhabi or Saudi Arabia? One of them. People writing from Germany, from different parts of America, from Canada, from different parts of Africa, South Africa, Kenya. Just ladies from all over the globe who came together again to have a space where they felt safe, where they could share, and where we could basically talk about topics that are often not necessarily discussed on the mainstream. So some of the things that we talked about were things like, navigating the tech industry as a Black woman, or dealing with microaggressions as a Black woman. Obviously, it's called the Black Girls Tech Summit. So the topic and the preface of the event was surrounding the experiences and encouraging Black women and Black young girls. So once I did the event as well, and obviously this opportunity came up with Dell, I just knew that I wanted to merge them together because it got me thinking about growing up. It got me thinking about being so insecure. Guys, I know you guys watch me and you think I am the most confident person on this planet. You look at me and you're like, you're so confident. It seems like you have everything together, blah, 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 blah. Confidence is literally like a muscle. It is something that if it's not trained, you will continue to make yourself smaller, or you will lack confidence in so many areas. I remember, guys, growing up and I was so insecure. I was a lot bigger than I am now. Again, I've got videos where I talk about my weight loss and how I lost it in a not very good way. I basically just stopped eating and I lost a dramatic amount of weight very, very quickly, to the point where I remember my auntie asked me, she saw me and she was like, Nissy, what happened? Like, are you sick? And I was like, oh no, I'm good. But I was pretty much sick, and I'll link all the videos so you can watch it and I can explain the whole thing there. But I remember prior to me losing weight, and even after I lost all that weight, I was so incredibly insecure. My insecurities turned a lot of the times into anger. So I remember I'd get frustrated, I would get angry because I was just not happy within myself. I was insecure, I was fat, I was a fat kid. I grew up as a fat kid. It is what it is. I hope no one's offended by that, but by the term or whatever, but I was a fat kid, and nobody even batted an eyelid at me. And when you're young, especially when you go to, so I went to a girls' school, and especially when you're young and you go to a girls' school and you see other girls getting attention from guys, you feel left out. You feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not nice enough, I'm not cute. Nice was what we basically used, like I'm not cute enough, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. There was always this comparison, right? Especially again in a girls' school. Thank God, I don't know how people do it today, because thank God we didn't use I don't even think social media wasn't really a thing like that. I remember the most that we had was like MySpace and MSN. That was about it. But thank God we didn't have social media at that time, because I can't even begin to imagine the level of insecurity you might grow up in. And this is why I wanted to make this video, especially because I've got younger sisters and I want this message to really go into their head and to resonate. And for anyone that's watching this, I want you to take what I say, understand that I'm sharing, you know, my experience and what I went through, but I want to say a few things to you because it's important that we speak to our young women, you know, no matter who you are, black, white, gray, pink, Asian, I don't care. I'm just speaking to my young women right now because it's so, I can only imagine how difficult it is in today's age where you are constantly, consistently, always comparing yourself with somebody else. Now, if you're not that person, I thank God that you're not, you know, whether it be because your parents instilled in you a confidence where you think, no, I'm not that person, they're not me, we're different people. But for a lot of young people, hence why mental health issues are rising and so many different things are happening, is because we haven't built up our young women with that confidence and that resilience in a world where everyone tells them to compare themselves. Everything tells them that they're not this enough. So either you're too light or you're too dark, you're too tall or you're too short, you're too skinny or you're too fat, you're too this or you're too that, your hair's too short, your hair's too, like, there's just too many things telling our young women especially who they should or they shouldn't be. And growing up, I was that individual that internalized everything. For us, it was magazines. So I would look at magazines and I would look at it and be like, oh, why don't I look like that? You know, why am I not that slim? Why don't I have a body like that? Why don't I look like this? Why don't I look like that? You know, or for example, it would even be comparing people around you, you know, whether it be the girls at school. You know, everyone goes to school and there's always the clique of the girls that are like the popular girls and the ones that everyone pays attention to and all the boys like. Being the fat girl, nobody paying attention to you, you put your self-worth in that. And one thing that I want to even say right now is to all my young girls, especially that are watching and that follow me and that follow my journey, I really do pray and I hope that you will take my word by the words that I'm saying right now. Do not, and I repeat, do not put your self-worth in what other people are doing or what other people are saying. Because the moment that you do that, you guys know I talk about power a lot on this channel. The moment that you do that, you are giving up your power. You are giving someone else control over your life, because guess what happens? You start living your life according to what you think is right because it works for somebody else. So I'll give you an example. I have spent about 80% of my life yo-yo dieting. My life, honestly, even after I lost weight, right? And you guys again see this bold and confident Nissy, you see Nissy T on stage. Best believe that my biggest insecurity to date, till now, is still my weight. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I need therapy. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know why I have this weird connection and this weird relationship with food till this day, guys. And this is just me being honest. And I've been wanting to have this conversation for a long time, but this is just me being so real. Till this day, guys, I have such a weird relationship with food. I have a weird relationship with my body. I am 100% way more confident. I am very confident. I love myself. I love my body, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I always like what it looks like. I hope that makes sense. You know, I love my body. I've learned to love it because it's mine. I've learned to love it because I've understood that if I become so obsessive with hating it, I will end up destroying myself. I've learned to love it because I understand that I only get one body. Of course, it changes. It's going to change when I have babies. It changed, you know, the older I got. It changes if I decide that I'm going to go ham in the gym and I'm going to make sure I go on a diet and I go ham and I do all the exercise and everything. I know that my body can also change for it to be the body that I want, but I've learned to love what I have because I will then become literally obsessed. I'll make it an idol. So if it meant that I had to starve myself, I would starve myself. If it meant that I had to not eat a particular thing for a long period of time, i.e., I remember a period of time where for about a month I completely cut out like heavy carbs, so bread, pasta, rice, that sort of thing. I completely cut it out. That was when I was back in uni. So it was a good few years ago. But even now, even though now I'm in a place where, and this is where I'm trying to balance where I'm at, because I'm definitely not where I was before, i.e. super obsessive. Everything was like, oh my gosh, I've put on weight, da 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 da. Now I don't mind so much that I put on weight anymore, but I'm still slightly insecure about my weight. I hope I'm even making sense. I don't even know if I'm making sense right now, but ultimately, I just wanted to share with you guys the fact that everyone has their own insecurities. And for me, mine has always been my weight. It's always been such a struggle. And even when I'm slim, I still think I'm fat. And then I look back at pictures and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I was so slim at that time, and I've put on weight now, as in like, you know, when I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, I can't believe that I thought I was fat. I was so slim. What the hell am I talking about? And it's this weird cycle, and I know that, you know, it's probably an area that I know that I definitely have to deal with, and I am dealing with it. And even I thought that I had dealt with it, but now I'm even speaking, I'm realizing that I still have work to do. I still have a lot of work to do, because it's an insecurity that I've carried since my childhood, guys. Since my childhood, my weight determined how I valued myself. My weight determined how I saw myself. My weight determined whether I felt I was good enough or not. My weight determined everything for me. That's just always been my reality. For some weird reason, my weight always determined my value. It was like, okay, you're fat now, so basically you're not gonna be able to do X, Y, and Z. What does that even mean? So, you know, I say all of that to kind of say, because one, I wanted to just share a lot of the insecurities that I've had, but two, I wanted to use that as a segue and as an opportunity to speak to my young women out there who are dealing with insecurities, who are dealing with looking at themselves in the mirror and not liking what is being shown in front of them, who are dealing with, you know, waking up every single day and feeling like you just don't belong on this planet, because you're just like, well, I have nothing to provide or nothing to give. Let me remind you, the number one thing, like I said before, do not allow the opinions of others, what other people say, Instagram, social media, magazines, whatever it is that you look at, to determine who you are. You need to make that decision for yourself. And I feel like I'm going into a bit of a wake up Wednesday, but it's not a wake up Wednesday. I felt such an urge to speak to my young women, because I know that everything is coming at us from left, right, center, music videos, people out there, even down to things like feeling pressure. And this is something that I've been wanting to tweet for ages, but I just didn't know whether I wanted to say it, because I know Twitter is such a toxic place, and people get so offended on Twitter. They literally are committed, and I heard this somewhere, don't try and prove your right to people who are committed to believing that you're wrong. Something along those lines. And that's Twitter. Twitter literally is just a bunch of people who are clearly upset and angry at their own life, so they come online to just spew hate and anger. Someone could say, I like red. Someone will come and say, well, why don't you like blue? What are you talking about? I've been wanting to tweet it for ages about, especially my young women who, for example, like myself, you would never come on my Instagram and catch me half naked. Now listen, let me make it very clear. If you choose to be half naked on the gram, if you choose to wear certain clothes that are extremely revealing or whatever it is, and you're showing, whether you're in a bra, in a bralette, whatever it is, if you choose to do that, that's your choice. You can do what you want. But for me personally, it does not align with my faith. It does not align with my identity. It does not align with who I am. And we're in a time right now where I can only imagine the pressure that young women are feeling, especially those that are either women of faith or those that have certain principles and morals that they don't want to compromise. You know, you don't want to reveal too much, but you feel like that's what everyone is doing. Or if you don't reveal anything, then you'll be considered boring or whatever it is. Do not, and I repeat, do not succumb to the pressure. It is not worth it. It's not worth you losing yourself in order to try and gain the entire world's approval. It's not worth it compromising what you believe in and compromising your faith, compromising your beliefs, compromising yourself in order for you to fit into a world where most people are lost and confused themselves anyway. I repeat to all my young women out there, even to the older ladies who maybe have lost their way. You lost yourself because you spent so much time trying to be somebody else. Ladies, it's not too late for you to turn back. It's not too late for you to be your authentic self. I wish that I could say that to my younger self. I wish that I could look back at my younger self and say, be yourself. You don't need to be like these other girls. You don't need to follow them, because one day you're going to realize how being yourself, how far being yourself is going to get you. You're going to realize that people are going to appreciate you more for being yourself and being different. You know, I remember even a few months, was it last year? I think it was actually last year, when I posted the video after I came back from a break off of YouTube, and I was saying how I went through a period where I had to remove myself from YouTube, because even on YouTube, I started comparing myself, and I started saying, you know, things like, oh, maybe I should create content like that, or like this person, or like that person, because that's clearly what's getting more views. Why on earth would I compromise my values, my beliefs, who I am, or even just my personality in order for me to gain views? What is that? To gain a couple of likes and a couple of views for what? For money? Really? I might as well sell my soul at that point. And I remember having to check myself. And this is another thing. Be self-aware. Work on being self-aware. You will thank me for it later. Being self-aware is so important. Being self-aware are moments where you know that you are, the way that you're going, no. Nissy, you need to come back. Nissy, you're coming off track, so it's time for you to come back. Nissy, you're compromising your beliefs. No, we can't do that. It's time for you to come back. That is being self-aware. And it's so important that as individuals, we're exactly that. We are self-aware. We spend time truly, and I mean truly, being aware of what it is that we are doing, how we're affecting ourselves, how we're impacting our mental health, our hearts, our well-being, our spirits. I'm gonna kind of wrap it up with this because I didn't want this video to be too long. But just the other day, I was talking to my girls from the Power Class program. Obviously, I mentioned it a little bit at the beginning, but ultimately the Power Class program is a program that I initially started for everybody, but I realized that it needed to be for women. And it's ultimately a platform to empower, encourage, motivate, and to encourage women to be the best version of themselves. Not to compromise, not to seek validation from the world, but to rather be focused on their goals and to make themselves proud before anything else. Guys, I am so sorry my battery died, but ultimately that's what the Power Class is all about. We are on the road to working on bringing on 1,000 women. That's the aim, that's the goal. 1,000 women from all over the world who are ready to reclaim their power, who are ready to be the best version of themselves, who are ready to claim the things that they deserve in life. Because if there's one thing that breaks my heart, is women compromising themselves and making themselves smaller for no reason. All in all, I just came on here to say, especially to my young women, I know that we're in a time where everyone is trying to pull you from left to right. Everyone's trying to tell you who you should or shouldn't be. Listen, only you can determine that. Please, I beg of you, do not compromise yourself. Do not compromise your beliefs, your principles. Don't compromise who you are because you're trying to fit into a mold that this world is trying to tell you to be today, and that you'll probably end up changing its mind tomorrow anyway. Don't do it to yourself. You owe yourself more. The fact that you're here, the fact that you're alive, the fact that you're watching this video shows, and I say it all the time because I feel like people always need to be reminded there is a purpose and there's destiny sitting in the inside of you. You're here for a reason. Let the world see that reason. We won't be able to see that reason if you're trying to be just like everybody else. And I know it's easier said than done, but that's why I said that confidence takes training. It's taken me a long time to be who I am today. To look around at, especially as someone, people consider me an influencer. I don't really like that term because I have a bit of a weird relationship with that term, but people consider me an influencer, right? It's taken me a long time to even be an influencer in this realm and to not feel the need or the desire to compromise who I am. And like I said, I've still had the moments where I've thought about it, but the boldness that I stand in, the confidence that I stand in doesn't even permit me to think about it for too long. But it's taken me a long time to do that. So exercise those muscles of being confident. Try something different. Try something new. Start journaling if you have to, just to get things onto paper so you can see them. Plan things that you wish to do that are outside of your comfort zone and outside of the box. And it doesn't have to be anything huge. Maybe it's just going to an event. Well, at the moment, Corona times, but maybe even online, joining an event online, speaking at an event, doing something completely different. And that's how you start to build your confidence, because all of a sudden you realize you didn't die. Even though it was scary, you didn't die. You might have felt like you were gonna die, but you didn't die. You survived, and guess what? You can do it again. And you can do something bigger, and you could do something bigger. And that's how you train your self-confidence, your self-belief. You do something that challenges you. And even if you fall down that one time, you get back up again and you keep going and you keep doing the same thing until you get to your desired position. You don't stop because someone told you to stop. You don't stop because you're hurt and your knees are bleeding and your hands are all scraped up. You don't stop because of the pain. You keep going until you get to that desired position. But anyway, guys, I really do hope that you enjoyed today's video. I know it was kind of a deep one, and you guys know I talk about it all the time. I say how YouTube really is therapy for me. Like, I get things off of my chest that even, like, as I was talking, even things that I didn't really acknowledge, it was just past thoughts in my mind, insecurities and areas that I know that I need to definitely work on. We all have work to do, guys, and to all my ladies, Listen, please do make sure you leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. I would love for you guys to encourage each other. You know, leave a word of encouragement for somebody else who's reading your comment, or just share something that you've also been insecure about, or something that you've struggled with for a long time and you're still working on and you're still dealing with. But yeah, just make sure you spend the time to build yourself, to get to know yourself, and to work on those muscles that are confidence and boldness, because only when you train them do they get bigger. Massive shout out once again to Dell, who sponsored today's video. Make sure you check out those 2 platforms, like I said, Dell Technologies Advisors and also the Dell Women's Entrepreneur Network 2. Make sure you check it out. Remember, we have plenty of resources, but not enough of us are resourceful. So make sure you check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Stay beautiful.